Why, in your opinion, do you think everybody struggles to agree on the truth now?
Oh, well, that's quite straightforward. We can't agree on what's happened. So, broadly speaking, an event happens now, and some people believe it has happened, and other people think it hasn't. We've been through a number of deranging years since we first spoke, in which, for instance, as I say, there's been a global pandemic, which some people believe was something which killed millions and millions of people in their own country and think they were just about saved from dying themselves. And other people think it was a fake. And other people think we just massively overreacted. And other people think it was all planned. And nobody agrees what happened. That's just to take one example. In America, you have obviously the fact that nobody agrees who won an election. That's a problem. And so you just have basic things nobody can agree on that just happened. I always say in America, it'd be nice if we could just agree that one thing that's just happened. But then nobody wants to. And says you must be a WF shill if you believe that. So I think it is the problem. And then obviously underneath that is just the problem, the fact that the treadmill of social media has totally changed the way in which we communicate, the way in which we learn things, absorb things. And we don't know what the consequences of that are. We're so early into it. And it seems to me that, among other things, it's allowed people to have their own version of recent events, recent history, past few days. And so when you sit down to talk to somebody, you can fairly swiftly work out whether they're somebody who's open to the idea of things that happened having happened, or whether or not they will fight you all the way. And that just makes everything much harder than it used to be. And that isn't to sort of particularly pine for the era of a mono-narrative, if that era ever particularly existed. And when you read history, not clear that it did. But it's just massively worse. And news is coming at us at such a pace these days that it's just like, every day feels like, a month's worth of news in the past. Things just fly by you so fast that you don't even have time to absorb it before it's happened. So I think that's part of the reason. And in any case, the whole concept of truth as being a desirable thing in the society seems to have eroded from both the right and the left. And
how so?
Truth, for instance, used to be the basis for university education and the basis of university inquiry, that you sought the truth wherever it led you. That was the point of academia, for instance. Politics was different. Politics was always about having to find a way around truth and deal with it and address
pesky inconvenience.
Yeah, address it where you could, but get around it if it was too awkward. But inquiry used to be about seeking truth. And they've been like that for a couple of thousand years or more, since the Greeks certainly. And then it changed at some point relatively recently. And truth is now not a desirable thing because truth hurts people. And it can be mean.
So it's not only that people have different opinions on things.
They don't agree that the thing we used to agree on is worth.
They have different facts as well.
Well, they have different facts, but they don't agree that they don't agree that you should just follow truth wherever it takes you. Because other things are prioritized over truth. I still prioritize truth over all things if I can, and try to. And I think that's the interesting thing about the world, is finding out what in it is true and what is not. But other people don't seem to have that same appetite anymore, and would rather live in lies, which I think is very dangerous for an individual and very dangerous for society. In fact, it's dangerous for an individual and lethal in a society, I'd say. Yeah.